Coming up on the bench, a meltdown in the Dome. Syracuse men's basketball had a chance to stop its 3-game losing streak in Saturday's regular season finale. Find out what led to the Orange getting rocked like a hurricane in the final moments.
Plus, fresh off the heels of an excruciating overtime loss to Northwestern, Syracuse women's Lacks had yet another top 10 opponent staring them straight in the face. Could Emily Harrischuk, Meg Carney, and company take down the number 7 Blue Devils?
And Syracuse men's lacrosse is struggling? Oh, that's odd. Coming into last week, the Orange were 1-2 on the season. Find out how the Orange fared against a couple of in-state rivals. It's OTV. Let's go. Hey there, welcome to On the Bench. That's Johnny Gadamowitz. I'm Trey Redfield. So many things to be excited about, Johnny. New show, new stars, but also a new duo, and I'm loving it.
Lots to be excited about, Trey. I will say, though, you beat me in the hair gel department tonight. I'm not up to par with you there, but that's okay. It's early.
Noticeable?
No, it looks great.
Okay.
You look dapper as ever.
That's good. Well, we're loving the new duo. The Orange fans are loving this as well. Syracuse Ice Hockey has its date set in the first round of the NCAA tournament. The Orange are Columbus-bound to take on Quinnipiac on Thursday at 6. If Cuse wins, it's moving on to face top-seeded Ohio State on Saturday.
Shifting gears over to the hardwood, Syracuse men's basketball star Buddy Boeheim is an All-ACC first-teamer. The senior was the only member of the Orange to take home any sort of All-ACC honors. Buddy Buckets enjoyed perhaps his best year in Orange, pacing the conference in scoring with nearly 19 a game, a career high. Boeheim is the 5th Syracuse player to earn such distinction, following in the footsteps of former teammate Elijah Hughes, who did it 2 years ago.
Let's head over to the gridiron. I know it's odd because it's the spring, but hey, Syracuse football got a shiny new quarterback from the South. The name is Lenora Sellers, a 3-star quarterback according to 247 Sports, and he comes out of South Florence High School in South Carolina. The dual threat signal caller is in the class of 2023, so hang tight. He'll make his first appearance for the Orange next season. 15-15. That was Syracuse men's basketball's record heading into Saturday's matinee with Miami. The Orange win. They snap a 3-game skid, taking some momentum into the ACC tournament. If Cuse loses, it's the first ever losing regular season for Jim Boeheim in his 46 years of coaching at Syracuse. Senior day inside the Dome, Jimmy and Buddy Boeheim being honored, Sidibe in the mix as well. Boeheim was phenomenal, getting it off the glass. He had 30 in this game, the 4th time this season where he's had 30 or more. His backcourt comrade, not too bad either, gets the triple from the right wing. How about another 10 minutes after that? Syracuse up by 11 at halftime and up by as much as 18, 2.5 minutes into the second. Sidibe getting it off the window, but here comes Miami out of nowhere. Cameron McGusty gets the jumper, and on the ensuing possession, Girard turns it over. Miami only trailing by 3, and with a chance to tie it up from Charlie Moore. That's off the mark. Jordan Miller's layup, though, is not. It's now a 1-point game. 10 seconds after that, Swider turns it over. Moore's going the other way. Boeheim has to foul. Moore heads to the charity stripe with a chance to tie. That's no good, but Jordan Miller's putback falls. Miami is in front since the dawn of the first half. 2-point lead now, but that free throw makes it 3. So 3.9 seconds left. The Orange with a chance to take it into overtime. One last shot from Jimmy inside the Dome. It's no good, and Cuse blows it. Here's Jacob Morris.
With 2 minutes and 10 seconds remaining, Syracuse led Miami by 10 points. Somehow, some way, it looked like the Orange were going to escape senior day as well as the regular season finale with a victory. Then what followed was a stretch emblematic of SU's entire season. Like the Carrier Dome court behind me, the Orange were taken apart by Miami on a 15-2 run en route to a 75-72 shocking loss inside the Carrier Dome. After the game, head coach Jim Boeheim attributed the loss to SU's inability to handle full court pressure.
Joe's got to get the ball up. He dribbled it off his leg. Cold has it wide, hit half court, loses it. You can't do that.
It's just closing out games. You can't keep losing games like that and saying, oh, we could be this and that. You got to win the games, especially when you're up 7 or 8 with 2 minutes left, a minute left.
For Syracuse, it was another heartbreaking loss and what's really become a head-scratching season. The loss dropped SU to 15-16 on the year, and with it cemented Jim Boeheim's only losing season in his 46-year tenure at Syracuse. Up next for the Orange is the ACC tournament. SU matches up against Florida State on Wednesday. Tip in that one is set for noon. Reporting from the Carrier Dome, Jacob Morris, Citrus TV.
So Syracuse taking yet another loss, and to put the icing on the cake on Orange men's hoops, we bring in our Cuse Countdown analyst Spencer Pierce. Spencer, I'm seeing the basketballs and the hoops on your tie. Seems like you're ready to ball up.
Yeah, I didn't know I was talking basketball today, so this was a good wardrobe choice, I guess.
That's exactly why we brought you in, my friend. Syracuse 15-16 to close out the regular season. We've never seen that in the Jim Boeheim tenure, Spencer. What went wrong with the Orange in 2021-22?
Trey, any way you ask this question, the answer is going to be what didn't go wrong. And you obviously point to the injury of Jesse Edwards, who should have won ACC Most Improved Player. But the lack of depth on this team is atrocious. Symir Torrance, usually the first off the bench, was the only real ball handling because everyone else, Benny Williams, John Bolajak, and Frank Anselm, they're bigs. They're not going to handle the ball when they go out on the court. So when Symir Torrance got hurt, it was really ugly for the Orange.
Next up for the Orange is a date with Florida State in the second round of the ACC tournament. You win that, Spencer. You take on top-seeded Duke. How long is the road for Syracuse in Brooklyn?
No, it's not long at all. Let's not even talk about Duke yet. If they can beat Florida State, I would be impressed. Florida State is extremely stingy on the inside, and like I said, losing Jesse Edwards makes it hard to score on the inside because Frank Anselm, yeah, he's all right. He's not that good to make such a big difference in that Florida State game. So if Syracuse does beat Florida State, they'll get railroaded absolutely by Duke. So I don't really think it's going to matter if they don't win this game, obviously.
Syracuse split the season series with Florida State. That loss came inside the Dome. But if you look ahead to this Orange squad, Spencer, it's not too bad. There are some positives going into the 22-23 season.
Right, and it didn't look like there were going to be a lot of positives when Dior Johnson and Kamari Lands decommitted. That was heartbreak for Orange fans. But guys like Justin Taylor and Chris Bunch are going to revive this team, I think. Justin Taylor is going to take the Buddy Boeheim role of just a few years ago. He's a really smooth 6'6" wing. I think he's going to do it all. Him, Chris Bunch, everyone that's coming back with a lot of experience. Dare I say look out for this team next year? I'm not so sure.
This Syracuse team is historically not good. Syracuse is one of 4 teams to have football, men's basketball, and women's basketball all have losing records in the same exact season. Spencer, is that bad?
It's definitely not good. And you look at the teams on the bottom, right? West Virginia, Vanderbilt, and Cal. When was the last time Syracuse was ever grouped with that caliber of school? It's crazy. They sent West Virginia back to mediocrity. Yeah, it's crazy. It's no more days of Geno Smith and Miles McBride. It's not happening.
It's a little odd. Bob Huggins having a rough year down in Morgantown, but a rough year in the Salt City as well for Syracuse men's hoops. That's our Cuse Countdown analyst, Spencer Pierce. Spencer, we appreciate you coming in, and once again, the tie, pristine, my friend.
Yeah, you don't have to say all that. Thanks.
Johnny, what's going on with women's hoops?
All right, so the men's side, Trey, not necessarily getting it done, and unfortunately for SU women's hoops, more of the same. They haven't fared much better. Syracuse lost to Clemson in the first round of the ACC tournament, 88-69. Tisha Hyman poured in 25 points, while Chrislyn Carr notched 20, but those two generated over 65% of SU's offense, which got 0 points off the bench as well, by the way. And clearly the loss didn't sit well with those in the program because a few days afterwards, SU Athletics announced it would begin to conduct a full-scale nationwide search for the next head coach. Von Reed, who served as acting head coach this past year, led the Cuse to an 11-18 record in his inaugural year at the helm. We got to hit a quick break, but when we come back, we'll fill you in on the latest surrounding SU lacrosse. It was a busy weekend, both the men and women in action, and lots to like on both sides. Don't touch that dial. OTB. We'll be right back.
Back here on the bench, Johnny Gadamowitz, Trey, Redfield. Johnny, we talked about some Syracuse basketball teams that are struggling and struggled this season. But hey, it's time to switch it up a little bit.
Syracuse is a lacrosse school anyway, Trey. So you know what? Maybe the basketball season ends with bitter taste in Orange fans' mouths, at least the regular season, that is. But if there's any good news, these lacrosse programs don't mess around here in the 315.
Johnny gets it. And for the first time this year, Syracuse men's lax had 2 opponents in 1 week. What makes it sweeter is that both of them were in-state rivals, but even though the Orange faced the top 2 teams in the nation earlier in the season, there was no stop button in sight last Wednesday. How about 13th ranked Army coming into the Dome to take on 14th ranked Syracuse? You don't hear the Black Knights being ranked higher than the Orange ones, that's for sure. But you should get to learn this name. Brendan Nichtern, the Patriot League preseason player of the year, had a hat trick in the first quarter. That goal made it 2-1 Army, and this one from Reese Spirit made it 4-1 Black Knights. Midway through the first quarter, the Black Knights putting the foot on the gas in the first set of 15. But here comes Brendan Curry, the captain to save the day. 5 holes, Wyatt Schupler. It's 8-6 Cuse after that goal. But how about a 3-goal lead? None other than Curry again. Vipering around cage, gets past Schupler. It's 10-7 Orange at halftime. But Army putting it all over the place in the fourth. Danny Kielbasa rips and sticks. Army outscored Cuse 5-0 in the fourth quarter, and this was the icing on the cake. Dami Aladamoye botches it. Bobby Abshire takes it the other way and scores. Army takes it by 4.
All right, so a tough loss on Wednesday, but the good news, a chance to respond against in-state rival Hobart with the Kraus-Simmons Trophy up for grabs. And to get things started, watch this goal from John Herlihy. 1 knee on the ground, but it doesn't matter. He goes bottom shelf to give Hobart the early lead, but SU putting the ball in the stick of one of its best players. Brendan Curry draws the Cuse even at 3, but Hobart was tremendous on the man up. 5 for 6 to be exact. SU's man-down defense struggled, but on the other end, the offense fires right back. Who else but Curry? He'd finish with 5 on the day, and then more SU attack. Not Curry, not Dordovic. Oh, that's Mikey Berkman. He's stepped up big time in the absence of Owen Hiltz, but more Hobart as the Statesman hanging around. That time it's Derek Madonna, makes it 14-12, but don't call Brandon Aviles a short stick defensive midi. He can score too. Pads the SU lead 17-14. Hobart doing their best to stick around though, and it's Herlihy yet again, but it was too little too late as Syracuse takes it 18-16, and Braden Reed details the win.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Kraus-Simmons Trophy is staying home. After the matchup took a year off in 2021, in 2022, Hobart made the trip back to Syracuse, but the Orange got the job done 18-16. And the Stars showed up for SU. Preseason All-Americans Brendan Curry and Tucker Dordovic, they did a lot of this, 10 times to be exact. And for Curry specifically, he noticed things open up as the game went on.
You know, we're just putting ourselves in better opportunities to score. And it's been fun just kind of opening the offense up and, you know, dodging and getting picks. So, you know, I just think we're, you know, Coach Gade and Coach March did a great job of putting us in our strengths and where we're, you know, able to succeed. And I think, you know, in the past 2 games we've offensively been able to kind of start to click. So, you know, hopefully we can continue to build and score even more goals.
For Dordovic, it was the 3rd time this season he tallied 5 goals, and for Curry, it was the 2nd straight game he scored more than 4. And the Orange needed this kind of production out of their offense. In goal, it was a struggle. Harrison Thompson started the game for Syracuse, was replaced by Bobby Gavin in the 3rd quarter. SC will need to figure out this situation in net as they travel down to Johns Hopkins to face a ranked Blue Jays team next weekend. Braden Reed, Citrus TV.
So SU men's lax salvages a win inside the Dome, but could the women's team do the same? Kayla Trainer's group had just been taken down by number 6 Northwestern on the road in Evanston in overtime last week. The Orange blew a second-half lead. Emily Harris-Chuck had a chance for a game winner on the doorstep to close regulation. You get the point. It all amounted to a pretty ticked-off SU squad, which was bad news for the Duke Blue Devils. coming to the Dome, trying to hand the Orange their first set of back-to-back losses since 2018. Early on, though, it was the Blue Devils who would step out in the right direction off of the draw control. They control possession, and then it's Veronica Heineman. Duke hops out to a 4-1 lead on the road. How about that? But it wasn't just Heineman. Kat Barry, leading scorer, she was held scoreless against Syracuse last year. She was back for revenge, but hey, if you're Syracuse and anyone's going to muscle your way back into this thing, it's Emily Harris-Chuck. Beats the keeper on the doorstep. That would make it 11-8 Duke. But then Maddie Jenner for the Blue Devils. She's the draw control specialist. She can score too. Gives the Blue Devils a 4-goal lead at the half. Now into the second half, it was the Megan Tyrell show. All 5 of her goals came in half number 2, but Duke reasserts themselves. Hyman yet again gains a 13-12 lead. But hey, if you're Syracuse, get the ball in the stick of Meg Tyrell. That would make it 16-14 SU. And then Meg Carney, haven't called her name much, but the icing on the cake as Syracuse cruises to an 18-16 lead over the Blue Devils. Still lots to get to here on OTB. When we come back, we'll check in with one of the brightest stars on campus right now. Abby Malotny has Syracuse hockey rolling right into the NCAA tournament. We'll get you up to speed on everything going on with the Orange as they vie for a national championship. Don't touch that dial.
Hey, it's good to see you again. It's On the Bench. That's Johnny. I'm Trey. Johnny, I know we can, still see our breath up here in the Salt City, but there's still some softball season to be played. You gotta keep going, even though Syracuse is all the way up north. Yeah, no home games yet for the Orange. Again, just the nature of playing in Syracuse. They don't play a home game until April 1st, but still lots to like for SU. So Syracuse softball will be back at Sky Top soon, but right now it's a ton of road trips. Just recently, the Orange opened up ACC play this weekend. Cuse went to Raleigh, taking on NC State. They put up a fight, but sometimes putting up a fight is not enough. Friday brought the Wolfpack working the Orange, but Syracuse returning the favor on Saturday. But Johnny, Cuse going to pull through on Sunday. Yeah, Trey, look, obviously it's not super ideal, but you take 1 out of 3. Could have been a whole lot worse against a very solid NC State Wolfpack team. And you think about what we just mentioned, right? Consider that this team has not yet played a home game. You look at their overall record on the year, 10-6. I'd say that's not too shabby. Now, it's going to be important that as you roll into ACC play here, you continue to string together some wins. The slate rolls on with Virginia Tech coming up next weekend. So if you're Syracuse, it's all about rebounding, responding, and making sure that, okay, you only take 1 out of 3 last weekend. Now go take care of business and get 2 this upcoming week. You definitely got to respond, especially with an outing like that, especially if you look at Summer Clark. It all starts at the circle. Not too pretty there, especially with that ERA. Yeah, and look, I think pitching is obviously something that the Orange are going to need to key in on. If they can't pitch, it's going to be tough to win games. It might have been 65 degrees outside the other day, but Syracuse ice hockey still going strong. The Orange just captured their second all-time CHA championship and are a mere days away from taking on Quinnipiac in the NCAA tournament. Citrus TV's Chilakase Adeli caught up with SU star forward Abby Malotny following the conference championship win.
We are now joined in studio by Syracuse senior forward on the ice hockey team, Abby Malotny. Abby, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me here.
So you guys go ahead and win the CHA championship. Sarah Thompson puts home that winning goal in the overtime period. Kind of just tell me what your initial thoughts were when you saw that go in.
To be completely honest, I kind of froze up. I wasn't really expecting it. I was following along with the play, but at the same time, with overtime, you're very, very tired. So I was catching my breath on the bench, getting ready to go out again. And she had an amazing rebound off Jessica's shot. And I just froze up for a second, and then just the excitement was so overwhelming. Everyone was so excited, especially me.
Now, you guys looking ahead now, you're going to coming to their second NCAA tournament in program history. It'll be your second in your college career. What do you think the team can learn from somebody like you and a decent amount of veterans on this team who've done this thing before?
Yeah, I mean, I hope to kind of ease anyone's nervousness when we go and do this. Obviously, freshman year, it didn't go as great. We lost to Wisconsin, but I think it was a 4-1 loss, which, to be honest, we were kind of happy with. Of course, we wanted to win, but they were such an amazing team at that time, and they still are. But I just, I want to show the girls that this isn't something to be nervous about. We've done it before. We can do it again. I know one thing that was kind of funny that we were going to do is bring our CHA rings and just kind of show the girls, like, we won CHAs, but let's win another one of these. So I just want them to be excited, and I want them to kind of live in the moment, take it all in no matter what the outcome is.
And don't forget, you can follow our coverage at Citrus TV Sports on Twitter, and you can follow me at C. Adele TV. Abby Malotny, senior forward on the Syracuse ice hockey team, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
We're now joined by Citrus TV tennis beat reporter Philip Galati. After the Orange split the weekend set, fall to Georgia Tech, but respond and take down Clemson. And Philip, a big reason why the doubles unit. What'd you see from that group that you like so much during the weekend split?
Well, it's important to start off any sport on the right foot. Doubles is the first thing that's played in any tennis duel, and Syracuse has won the doubles point 9 out of 11 times this season. It's thanks to their consistency, a little bit of mix and match here and there. Shiori Ito and Sonia Treshcheva have most recently been the court #1 pairing. Ito's one of the best net players in the ACC, whereas Miyuka Kimoto and Polina Kozyreva bring up the rear on court #2. They're usually the ones that are clinching the point for the Orange. Excellent job mixing players with a couple different abilities and seeing what the Orange can produce.
Yeah, you rewind a few weeks ago, and there were questions all over the place. Big reason why. A lot of freshmen stepping into some pretty big roles. What have you seen from the freshman class, and what have they shown you through the first couple weeks?
Well, Miyuka Kimoto and Shiori Ito have come from Japan to the Salt City with no problems. Miyuka has taken over the #1 spot a couple times in singles play for the Orange. She has a 7-4 record. Excellent defensive player, always has her feet underneath her in the baseline, whereas Shiori Ito, 8-3 in singles, a little bit of a better record. She's going down the line a little bit on the #5 court, uses her emotions positively when she plays tennis. She's always playing with passion and fire. You can see it in her eyes, and she uses that to a positive almost all the time.
Well, you look at the road ahead, and it's a tough one for the Orange. After a weekend like this where you draw the split, what's the momentum surrounding this team right now looking ahead?
Well, head coach Eunice Lamam told me it's a confidence booster to get an ACC win, and that's important because the ACC is the most competitive conference in the country. 6 teams in the top 25. Next up for the Orange is UNC away. The Tar Heels are the #1 squad in the nation, so it's all about playing solid defensive tennis. When you have net points, you got to use them. Those cross-court volleys need to be concise. We've got to keep the serves in the box. We've seen a couple double faults this season. I think there might be some surprises in store for the Orange down the line.
Well, we'll have to see. All eyes will be on that UNC matchup, to say the least. That's Citrus TV tennis beat reporter Philip Galati. Thanks so much for coming on, as always. But we're not done just yet here on OTB. When we come back, we'll get you your Performers of the Week. Stay with us.
Closing up shop here on the bench with Johnny Gadamowitz. I'm Trey Redfield. It's time for the best part of the show, our Performers of the Week. You okay if I take this first, partner?
Go for it, Trey.
All right, because I need to. I mean, come on. Buddy Boeheim, why not? He's our first Performer of the Week. He had 30 points against Miami, which clinched him to be the ACC scoring champ with 19.3 points per game. And get this, Johnny, that helped him become first team All-ACC. You gotta love it. A positive with this Syracuse men's basketball squad.
If he's first team All-ACC, we'd be doing him a disservice if we left him off this list. I got 2 women's lax players for you. The Meg Show, Meg Carney, Megan Tyrell, each of them had a day against Duke, especially for someone like Meg Carney, who the game prior against Northwestern did not score. Big time bounce back from Carney. The 2 of them, Trey, combined for 8 of 10 of Syracuse's second half goals.
Johnny, let's keep it on the lacrosse field. I'm going to go with Brendan Curry. He was awesome this past week against both Army and Hobart. 4 goals against the Black Knights. Had a Yahtzee against Hobart. That's 5 goals. 5 of a kind, you get the point. Also had an assist as well. The captain showing how it's done. Johnny.
Lot to like from Curry, lot to like from Tyrell and Carney, and throw Buddy in there as well. Why not? That's a heck of a performance of the week right there.
That's a great slate, to say the least. That's going to do it for On the Bench with Johnny Gadamowitz. I'm Trey Redfield. Follow us on Twitter at Citrus TV Sports for all the latest updates you need. But for now, we leave you with the images of the week.
But he can't leave Buddy open.
He is cooking. Buddy Boeheim with 26 points. Gets the roll.